Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
Stop it. Stop. He wants to eat my hand. No. Ow. No. No. Ow. Can you help me?
Okay.
No, I have nothing. I have nothing.
Okay. Nanas yang cepat nanas. Dulu paling ya, jis paling ya, dulu paling ya. Sorry ya. Sure. Lagi. Yang ini jangan dekat sini nanti.
That's more terrifying than any ghost video I've seen. I was just waiting for that thing to rip her arm clean off. The way people behave around animals in the wild who could kill them effortlessly is just mind-blowing. Like all the tourists in Yellowstone trying to get a selfie with a moose. I'm genuinely shocked that more people are not injured or killed like this every year.
And just like that, all of a sudden Kanye isn't so crazy after all, is he? A lot more things make sense today. I fell down rapper TikTok last night, listening to Bodyguards and all kinds of black podcasts. Holy. People have been trying to tell us about this forever, and we just didn't listen. A lot like Alex Jones, huh? No one, I couldn't understand why it was Homeland Security that arrested Diddy, and now it all makes sense. Listen to Kanye. Diddy was a Fed. Diddy was a Fed. They are reporting on mainstream media that the racketeering charges against Diddy involve the New York Police Department. The New York Police Department was doing Diddy's dirty work. Holy. And they used him to keep people under their thumb, to keep celebrities under their thumb. So like celebrities that would come out, LeBron James, always toting some liberal foreign policy line, and you're like, why would you be saying, shut the all these people, they are not just perverts, but they are the worst human beings among us. J-Lo, Will Smith, the list just keeps getting longer. You know Oprah's in there. Like this, it's unreal. The things that have never made sense for the last 30 years, everything makes a lot more sense now.
This is getting exciting. I think one of the best parts of this whole situation is that it's going to wake a lot of people up out of their celebrity infatuations. The general public will finally see how disgusting most of these people are, and they'll stop idolizing these idiots. It's going to be real interesting to check back in on this a year from now and see who all was wrapped up in it.
Have you ever heard of the dog-headed man? It starts 4,000 years ago. There's a race of hybrid humans with a literal dog head. They found it in Libya, carved onto these boulders. It was first written about by a Greek philosopher in 30 BC or something. Okay. Greeks have written about it. The Romans have written about it. Alexander the Great, Marco Polo, Christopher Columbus, St. Augustine. All these explorers throughout history have all written about dog-headed men.
Whoa.
The earliest writings from the Greek philosopher, he went and was exploring India. Deep in the mountains, there was these dog-headed men. He said that they were brutal and they would capture people and then eat them. They would talk to each other by barking.
Imagine you're about to go to battle and you just hear howling. Thousands of them just howling, dude. That would be so scary.
There's a story of King Arthur, and he claimed to have fought and beat a dog-headed army in the mountains surrounding Edinburgh.
I mean, how do they come to an existence?
Yeah, you could say like from the Book of Enoch, where it talks about the fallen angels making hybrids of human, animal, beast. Yeah, and that's where you get like folklore of mermaids and centaurs.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is where the werewolf myths come from. I think the most interesting part of that to me was that apparently Christopher Columbus had a run-in with these things. This is the first time I'm hearing about that. That makes me wonder what else I wasn't told about Columbus's exploration. What do y'all think about this one? I feel like we would have reports of remains if this were true. Look at all the remains we've found of giants. Why would this be any different? Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this type of content, I post a new one just like it every day, Monday through Friday. It'd be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me. Also, don't forget to check out my merch store at www.barry-stepp.com.
This is a good one because this fits right into our wheelhouse.
Daddy never saw anything like it in your life.
Stop eating that fun sugar.
You spoil your dinner.
Papa, we saw the galaxy flood. Big waves came up and flooded the whole city. When the water went back, it was all muddy and horrible. Full of dead bodies.
Oh,
Oh, look, the light. Oh, beautiful.
There's never been anything like it in the whole world.
We don't have to come here on a train or stay in a hotel. It's right in our own hometown.
Grandpa, they'll never tear it down, will they?
Well, they'd better not.
I can't believe it. Right here where we live. Right here in St. Louis.
Very fascinating. That was weird that they talked about the river flooding and then all the dead bodies, and it was almost like a social unaccepted norm that they were talking about, that she was bringing up that point. That's a strange thing to bring up, honestly. Like, what are they even talking about with that at all? And then they're talking about the buildings being so beautiful right in their backyard. They'll never tear it down. What were they alluding to? What were they alluding to? Because they did tear them all down.
Yeah, they'll never tear it down. And obviously, we know that they did. And
Yeah.
they'll claim that because it was always meant to be torn down. But of course, like, it's funny in that movie, for some reason, they didn't know that they were going to tear it down later.
I wonder if they had already torn down the buildings and then they were making an allusion, like a reference to the fact that they were torn down, or if they were going to tear them down and it was almost like, it's like witchcraft. Like, you know how they say things before that happens, right?
Maybe that's kind of the early, they're trying to cover their tracks when, kind of like a lot of us, when you see the World Fair stuff being shared around the pictures from like Chicago, St. Louis is obviously one of the best examples too. And when you first see it, you're like, what am I looking at? There's no way that's Chicago. There's no way that's St. Louis.
Yeah.
And then so they make a movie like this and they said, oh yeah, by the way, that was a kind of fun thing they did back in the day. And the little girl was naive. She didn't realize they weren't actually real buildings. They were more like, they were made of plaster of Paris. Literally
Right.
in my comments
Like
section,
the moon.
That's what I get. Plaster of Paris. In school, did you ever make stuff out of plaster of Paris? You couldn't make that for exterior use, right? Like, you couldn't make a building out of that because,
It would
hello,
melt.
when it gets wet.
Yeah, if it rained on those buildings, that would have been the end of it, right? Besides that, how would that have been a strong enough building method to make these things safe to inhabit? The more I think about the World's Fair, the more I feel like the common line just doesn't make any sense. Something about it just doesn't add up. I can see them erecting some stuff as temporary structures, but they were building stuff they were clearly taking pride in. Why build it all with intentions on tearing it down? And why put so much effort into it if it's meant to be temporary? It just makes no sense.
Is it in your nature to consume the flesh of animals? The Gnostics, an ancient group of highly spiritual and enlightened beings, believed you were not naturally meant to eat flesh. In your time, they might be seen as what you call chosen ones, or starseeds. They believed in a material realm and a spiritual realm that affects you. They saw your flesh as corrupt, but your spirit as your true essence. For them, the consumption of flesh was thought to keep your soul trapped in the physical realm and body, preventing your spiritual growth. They believed the fruits and vegetables we eat are powered by the sun's energy, allowing us to absorb divine energy, fueling the soul and raising your vibration. A Gnostic text warns you, those who engage in harm will face spiritual darkness. Some believe that the practice of eating flesh was a deception you were tricked into, causing you to inherit this spiritual darkness. Their food choices were part of a holistic approach aimed at freeing your soul from what they saw as the corruption of your physical world. While you might believe animals were placed on earth for your consumption, the Gnostics believed the creator of nature placed fruits on earth for your nourishment, not the animals. Ask yourself, would an angel consume flesh?
I honestly feel like they were way off if this is what they believed. There's just no way you can sustain yourself off fruits and vegetables alone. Not if you want to be healthy. We've had enough studies done at this point to know the importance of protein and what its best sources are. I worry that people get sucked into stuff like this sometimes and start ruining their lives because they think they're following some secret path.
The newly elected president wants to get rid of the Department of Education. And while the media is acting like this would be a terrible thing, those of us who pay attention know much better. As the Department of Education was created in 1980 and has been an objective disaster. Within only 3 years, they had released this report, which used what would later be shown to be a faulty analysis of data to justify the implementation of standardized test culture. And it wouldn't be long until schools all over America dropped woodshop and home ec so that they could teach to the test. And we all know they're not even good at that, which is why homeschool students perform so much better than public school students. Like, look at this chart. It's literally on everything. Reading, math, science, social studies, as it seems the only thing the Department of Education is good at is forcing their political agenda down our throats. And they don't teach kids how to think, they tell them what to think. So when you were in school, had you even heard of a logical fallacy? Are they teaching kids to get back to primary documents? Or do they encourage them to discern truth for themselves? Do the students graduate with any actual skills? Are they taught financial literacy? I'm pretty sure the answer is no. And the only thing they're really taught is that the people that founded this country are bad. And our kids deserve much better. So check out my private homeschool community, as well as my books on free speech, right to bear arms, healthy eating, how systems are corrupted, and so much more. ClassicalLearner.com.
I think one of the best things that happened to me whenever I was a kid, just looking back and seeing things after the fact, is I got in trouble and got kicked out of school for a calendar year and had to go to alternative school. In alternative school, I was left to teach myself. The teacher was just a drill sergeant. He was just there to keep us in line. We had to do our own reading, find our own sources, do our own research, and get really good grades or our life was going to be hell. Going through that, whenever I got finished with alternative school and went back to regular high school, I couldn't learn anything by listening to the teachers. I had to read it myself. I think that experience shaped me in more ways than I realized at the time. I genuinely think it saved me. The indoctrination in the public school system is getting out of control, and we need to be teaching these kids how to teach themselves.
The two things that they are 100% reliable on to make sure that they can transmit, reflect, absorb, and deliver frequencies in your body are you being completely contaminated with inorganic minerals and you being completely contaminated with metals. Studying and really digging deep into the transhumanism agenda that Klaus Schwab and everybody's out there promoting to kill off half the population and to convert people into a half cyborg, half man. We've been breaking down all of their mechanisms of action. We've been identifying and looking at DARPA documents, DoD documents, and we have found out what they're using and what they're doing and how they're doing it. We need to find things that are going to neutralize that technology. So they are using frequency, directed energy weapons through cell phones, through directed energy weapon towers, which they call cell phone towers, to be able to create disruptions in your biofield, to harvest energy, to mess with your oxygen levels. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. They absolutely need you to be full of inorganic minerals and full of metals for their systems to work.
Clearly, I don't know how true this is or if it's just some theory without a foundation, but on its face, this makes total sense. What other reason would they have for allowing all the things they allow into our food supply? You would think that surely it's done for a purpose or they would fix it, but I think this may just be someone trying to make sense of the chemicals in our food supply, when it likely all boils down to money. But I could be wrong and he could be 100% correct. Again, it sounds like it makes sense.
Okay, so I kind of want to expose some chemtrail truth here. As most of you know, we're selling the plane, so we're not getting paid out anymore. This plane has been certified to use the chemtrail fluid DK5812. And so it holds 50 gallons in each tank here, and then the fuel goes in this one. And then right in the exhaust, just right up here, there's a injector that sprays the fluid when you turn on the switch. And the switch, it won't spray fluid unless the engine's running because it's like real toxic chemicals. So it needs to make sure like you're in the air. We get paid about $10 a gallon to spray the stuff. And this has a government issued retrofit kit. And you can see down here, they installed this switch. As you can see, it says chemtrails. You just turn it on, and then you just collect money. That's how it works.
I I wanted to verify this, so I tried to Google that chemical, DK5812, and the only things I could find really were TikToks and Reddit posts. And the little info that I did find on it sounded like the person was making the information up as they were typing it out. I have no doubt that chemtrails are a real thing, but does anybody have anything on this particular chemical?
NASA. So here's the thing. NASA isn't a space agency. NASA is the World Intelligence Agency. Everyone reports to them. FBI, CIA, KGB, CCP. Well, why would they lie about the shape of the Earth? What difference does it make? NASA was created right after Project High Jump, when Admiral Byrd flew out in Antarctica. On the other side of the South Pole, they found land bigger than the United States, filled with resources. Look at that. From Middle America, he would be in where South Africa is, or where Australia is. And another continent the size of the United States that no one has ever seen or set foot upon? What does that mean? What if he went from Middle America over what they call Antarctica and then found another continent out here?
Then that would destroy our whole worldview of reality.
Now, what if there's other civilizations here? What if these are where the controllers of the world live? Okay? What if...
I'm getting chills right now.
Because the reality, your soul is going, yes, listen. Right? Get rid of your programmed mind. People don't realize, well, Russia would have ratted us out and this and that. They're all in it together. Everything that you know is a lie. The United Nations map, Flat Earth map. International Maritime Organization, Flat Earth map. World Meteorological Organization, Flat Earth map. International Civil Aviation Organization. These are the things that control the world. Why do they all have Flat Earth maps?
Well, I don't know, artistically maybe they couldn't.
Artistically? Is that your explanation?
This stuff is so intriguing. I want to believe that we have more lands past the ice wall. It would make so much sense. I guess in the words of Seven Club, I just cannot shake my programming. All I know is there has to be something out there. And these aliens have to be coming from somewhere on the planet. And I highly doubt they're all living underwater. I think they have bases under there, but I don't think that's where they necessarily reside. If the Earth was flat, it sure would make a lot of dots connect.
The hidden Egypt. Is it possible that the heart of the biblical Egypt was in the Americas? Let's talk about it. Now, when it comes to looking for the geographic locations of certain civilizations, using the description from the books that talk about these civilizations, such as the Bible talking about Egypt, one of the best clues of finding a geographic location of a civilization is to look at the description of the big famous body of water that is next to these civilizations. For example, the most famous body of water next to Egypt, according to the Bible, happens to be the Nile. Now let's take a look at one of the descriptions of what the Bible says about the Nile River. This is Isaiah chapter 11 verse 15. And the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod. So in the book of Isaiah it says that the Nile has 7 major streams. However, when you look up the modern African Nile, it only has 3 main tributaries, 3 main streams. But the Bible states that the Nile has 7 streams. So when discussing ancient Egypt, the focus has to be on the Nile River system of the White Nile and the Blue Nile, which is allegedly the longest river in the world at 4,132 miles long. However, when you combine the Mississippi River system of the Missouri River, 2,540 miles, and the Mississippi, 2,340 miles, you have a total length in miles of 4,890, which is 758 miles longer than the Nile River system that is in Africa. So yes, the Mississippi River system is the longest, which is a strong indication that it was your first Nile River system. So the Mississippi River has 7 major streams, and it flows into the Gulf of Mexico, which possibly can indicate that the Gulf of Mexico was once known as the Egyptian Sea in the book of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 15. Additional clues can be found with a quick study of the etymology of the name Missouri. You will learn that it's just a corruption of the word Mitzrayim. Who was Mitzrayim? Mitzrayim, according to the Bible, was the son of Ham. He was the younger brother of Cush and the elder brother of Phut and Canaan, the Phoenicians. Those families together made up the Hamite branch of Noah's descendants. So Mitzrayim is the Hebrew word for Egypt. So yeah, as I've stated, the modern African Nile only has 3 main tributaries, 3 main streams coming from the Nile. But the Bible states that there are 7. The Mississippi has 7 major streams and is one of the longest rivers in the world, and it flows into the Mexican Gulf, or what is possibly the tongue of the Egyptian Sea. Mitzrayim is the Hebrew and Aramaic name for the land of Egypt. Mitzrayim is the dual form of Matzor, meaning a mound or fortress, the name of a people descended from Ham. It was the name generally given by the Hebrews to the land of Egypt and its people. You have mounds found all over the Americas, but especially all up and down the Mississippi River. In fact, you have so many mounds built along the Mississippi River, the academics have named the people that built them the Mississippi Mound Builders. This is a significant fact because mounds are associated with Mitzrayim, which is Egypt. You have virtually no mounds in Africa. Therefore, the sheer number of mounds in the Americas and pyramids in the Americas is a strong indication that America is
If America was ancient Egypt, and there's certainly enough evidence to make a person consider it, what happened? Where did all the people go? If it was at one time heavily populated and had these great civilizations here, how did the entire continent get completely wiped of people, only to be left here for the Native Americans to find? And why would they hide it if it were true? What would be the point of this particular deception?
So, do y'all want to hear a theory? Surely we have all been paying attention to this. It's all over social media. The underwater aliens. Aliens coming from the ocean. Aliens watching us from the ocean. Well, I've been paying attention to these UAP hearings for a while. I also printed out that whole Harvard document about the ultra-terrestrials. So none of this is news to me. I've heard a lot of it before. They keep giving us these hearings, but they don't really want to tell us anything new. But the other day I was working on a story about the Saratoga ghost light in Texas. And I had a little thought that I got to really thinking about, and it became a theory. So I'm going to share my theory with y'all. Just an opinion. It's just a thought. I do want to know what y'all think about this. So all over the United States, there's this weird phenomena about ghost lights. We have like 3 of them in Arkansas. There's one in Joplin, Missouri, one in Marfa, Texas, Saratoga, Texas, and a whole bunch of other places. Well, these lights are absolutely real. There's no question. Like, that's a picture of it. There are numerous videos, pictures, people's eyewitness accounts where groups see it at the same time. Like, there's no way this is not completely real. For a long time, there's always been the question of, but what is it? Is it swamp gas? Is it a mirage? Is it whatever other explanations people get for this? And what's always bothered me about these ghost lights is a lot of them seem almost conscious. Like the ones in Dover, Arkansas are said to be very playful. They like zoom around each other and will zoom toward you and then away, like it's playing with you. I believe it's the one in Crossett, Arkansas that will actually change colors to answer your questions. And the one in Saratoga is said to approach people almost curiously, like it wants to get close to you and observe you. And this one in Joplin is said to be downright aggressive at times. It will like zoom into people's cars purposely trying to scare them. It will literally chase you. So I was sitting there talking to my husband about what could these things be? Because I believe in ghosts, but I don't believe ghost lights are ghosts. They have to be something else. Well, then I thought about how they've been talking about how some of these alien supposed species aren't all like human or humanoid. Like there's the jellyfish. Y'all heard about those? The like floating jellyfish looking ones. So I'm like, hold up. Alien bases underwater. It's not just the ocean. It's just bodies of water. Like there has long been stories about UFOs or UAPs coming out of lakes. Pyramid Lake, Nevada is one that happens a lot. Then while I was like, I wonder if ghost lights could be some type of UAP alien thing. And then I read this about orbs of light coming out of the ocean being met by another orb. That's a ghost light. So I just thought to myself, I wonder if there's any water around where these ghost lights show up. And I kind of think we might be onto something, guys. In Saratoga, Texas, this is Ghost Road where the ghost light shows up. Boom, a little pond, lake thing. Gurdon, Arkansas. The light shows up here. And it's a little far away, but water. Dover, Arkansas, with the playful lights. There's where you view it. Well, the lights rise up from somewhere over here, by the river. Joplin, Missouri. Boom, a little water. What if the lights are coming from the water? What if the ghost lights are some type of alien species? Or alien drone? Or alien surveillance? I don't know, but maybe it's coming from the water. Marfa, Texas is the only one where I could not immediately pinpoint water somewhere nearby. But you know what's literally on top of it? The airfield. A military base. What are all the politicians talking about? UAPs coming out of the ocean or spotted around the military bases. Wait, I just saw that. Is that water? We might have water too, I don't know. Anyways, so my theory is maybe ghost lights are aliens coming from the water. Just a thought, but I'd like to know y'all's thoughts on that. Okay, bye.
I like this theory. It makes a lot of sense. I've seen a ton of reports of UFOs coming up out of lakes or out from behind waterfalls. It would certainly make sense that they would take advantage of large bodies of water to conceal themselves or their crafts. I know anytime I see a strange light in the sky, my mind skips right over a ghost and goes straight to UFO, no matter the size. And I've seen lights like that a few times. I think this theory makes a lot of sense.
Ready to have your mind blown? This is from July 2023. Watch this video.
It's Deepfake Friday, and we're talking to an innovative company that can replicate any human's face, voice, and personality through an algorithmic process in a matter of minutes. Don't believe me? Well, I'm not real. I'm a Brian Sullivan digital double, created by a startup called Brask, using images and video of the real Brian to compile what's called a mask. I'm being replicated by a stand-in actor to read this monologue, and then my appearance and voice is changed using artificial intelligence. So now that I've got your attention, let's send it back to the real Brian Sullivan as we dive deeper into this revolutionary technology. I have not seen that before that. They told me I could not look at it, just kind of wear the same thing. That was amazing, a little terrifying. I'm shocked at how handsome I actually am. But other than that, it was a little bit, I mean, this is amazing. So let's talk about that now.
If that was July of 2023, how good is that technology today? Stuff like this really freaks me out, especially considering how many hours of video footage there is online of me just sitting and talking. It'd probably be nothing for them to make a copy of me and have me just spit out anything they wanted me to say and just blow up my entire life. Fortunately, I'm just some guy on the internet, so maybe they'll leave me alone, but I'm sure I'm on at least a list or two.
On the month of October, an internet account by the name of Greedy810 and her boyfriend were having a really good time on the Carnival Freedom cruise ship near Cape Canaveral. At the time, everything was going as it should, with the exception that a bird had entered their room.
I gotta catch him, Mom. Oh, they got another one. I got another one.
This is until hundreds of birds start swarming inside of their room.
Man, that was my room full of birds.
Baby, you okay? Baby, where you at? Oh my God, baby, where you at?
Strange, isn't it? But here are things take an even stranger turn. Dozens of other videos started popping up all over social media of people seeing the same thing on different cruise ships around Florida. Check this out.
Boy, there was so many birds out here, man. I'm talking about, they done flew all the folks.
Y'all never seen this before. What do you think it is?
Swarms of thousands of birds were seen flying around the Serenade of the Seas cruise ship and many others. To make things even stranger, many of them were seen falling from the sky.
Yeah, I never seen like it. Too much bird. There's the moth too. The moth, but the moth.
It's even the moth. That's what doesn't make sense.
I never been like this. The guy, he said he's never seen this before. He works here.
Me too. Also.
You work here?
Yeah, but I never see like this.
Never
before.
seen like
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, after doing some research, I found out that there was a major storm nearby. When this happens, the air pressure drops and most birds who have sensitive hearing respond by flying as close to the ground as possible. So in this case, the birds were trying to avoid the storm, which makes a lot of sense. Nothing mysterious about it, right? Well, wrong. What makes all of this very strange is that not only birds, but insects were both falling from the sky.
Too much bird. There's the moth too. The moth, but the moth. What's even weirder is that they die fine. They die.
Yeah, they're just dying.
What about the moth? That's true.
They should be dying.
And both crew members and passengers had never seen anything like this before.
Yeah, not normal. You've not seen this before.
Yeah, I never seen like this.
Y'all never seen this before. First time. What do you think it is?
This bizarre phenomenon still remains a complete mystery. And to make things even stranger, this isn't the first time such a thing happens.
I wonder how new all those cruise ships are. They all have those massive towers on them that I'm assuming have tons of communication equipment in them to stay in touch with the mainland. I just wonder if these are new boats. I'm just wondering if they have some new technology in them that's interfering with birds and insects' ability to navigate in the air. And if that's the case, we kind of need to know. If it's killing birds mid-flight, it's probably not doing anything good to the people that are around it either. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you liked these clips we watched together today. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out berry-stepp.com if you'd like to order yourself a shirt or a hat or a hoodie. And don't forget to post your photo of your merch over in the Discord to get your photo in a video. But with all that out of the way, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow.